Hello and welcome back to Bass Gear Magazine. It's Dan Veal here once again, and in this review I am looking at the Cort A5 Ultra 5-string bass guitar. Let's hear it. Up at the headstock end of business, we have 5 Hipshot ultra lightweight tuning keys on an angled back headstock. Let's flip the bass over and have a look at those. And as you can see, we have an open gear type to keep the weight down as much as possible, and this really aids the balance on the instrument. I'm not getting any pull on my shoulder when I'm playing this bass with a strap, and also when it's sat on my lap, it pretty much behaves itself as well. Whilst we are here, let's go and have a look at the back of the neck. And it looks superb. I'm a massive fan of laminated necks, especially when you get different types of woods paired together. In this case, we have maple and a wood called Panga Panga. And this creates this lovely contrasting look all the way down the back of the bass. Down at the body end, we can see that this instrument is a neck through. And the maple and Panga Panga travels all the way through down to the bridge end. The wings on this bass is Mahogany. And as we flip the instrument over and have a look at the front, we have an absolutely glorious ash top. Now what I find very interesting about this top is obviously we've got a wonderful grain here. And as I understand it, and some of the people in the know would probably correct me on this, the ash top is stained a dark colour and then sanded back. And the deeper grain is left on show, and then the whole lot is finished. Yes, that's massively simplifying it, but what you end up with is a really nice top that is really eye-catching, and I'm a big fan of this. Going back up to the headstock end of business, and we'll come back down the neck, we have a Panga Panga fretboard and dot markers on the bass side of the neck. And I think this is a really nice modern and clean look. Double dots at the 12th fret and double dots down at the 24th fret here. And they're nice and clear, and they are leaving the rest of the fretboard and this wonderful grain on show. Let me see if I can get a closer shot of the grain whilst I'm here. On the neck, the 24 frets are nice and neatly inserted into this 34-inch scale bass. And to play it, it feels really comfortable underneath my fingers. And the 15.75-inch radius on the fretboard also is not too flat, but certainly isn't going to be anything like a 7.5-inch radius that you'd find on a vintage bass, for example. With the slightly flatter board, this means that if you're into string bending or tapping styles, then this is going to feel very comfortable for you. But also, given the size of the neck itself, it doesn't feel massive, and my hand naturally falls over the strings, and I don't feel like I'm having to cram for extra notes. Really nice. The neck carve itself, I wouldn't say was super skinny. It's a D-type carve, I would say, and it's not chunky in my hand at all. So this is kind of a nice modern cut, but more of a D shape than a C shape possibly. Either way, this is something you're going to have to try out for yourself and see if it fits with your playing style. But I'd recommend it. It does feel very, very comfortable for me to play, even with my massive hands. Anchoring down the 5 D'Addario strings that are fitted as standard is a Hipshot TransTone bridge. Let's get a closer look at that. And on this model, as I flip the base over, we can see that the strings are anchored into the very woodwork itself with a string through body mounting. The strings come right through the hefty bridge, and hopefully that is doing a great job of getting some of this big tone out into the pickups and then out to your amplifier. Very nice. Getting down onto the electronic side of things, and this is where the bass really opens out and shows us what it can do. And by that I mean we have a pair of Fishman Fluence Soapbar pickups. Now I'm going to put a little bit more information about these pickups in my written part of my review, so please go over to Bass Gear magazine and check out my column. But suffice to say that Fishman do things a little bit different with the Fluence pickups. This will give us a wider range of sounds than maybe you would have from a normal passive set. So what have we got? Let's hear some sounds. First of all, we've got active bass with boost and cut, active treble with boost and cut, a pan control, front pickup, rear pickup and blend between the two, master volume. We have a pull-up switch here, which usually would expect to be, say, a passive switch. But this puts these pickups into single coil mode or single coil tone mode. And then over here we have a switch which switches between 3 sound designs. In the middle position it's a full range active sound. In the up position we have a passive pickup sound. And in the bottom position we have an active bass with a mid cut sound. In my first sound setting, I've put the bass into passive tone mode. I've pulled the volume control knob outwards to give me single coil tone mode. And I've put the blend control to slightly lean towards the front pickup. And I have a flat EQ setting. This is what the bass sounds like with a bit of slap bass. This time I've got into humbucker mode with the switch set to flat active and the EQ is in the same position. So even with a moderate flick of a switch, the bass completely changes its tone. Let's listen to the pickups individually so we can hear what they are capable of without any additional electronics. This is just the front pickup on fingerstyle. And this is the bridge pickup on fingerstyle. Getting a 60-40 blend of the two pickups requires a little bit of fine tuning, but in this example I've gone for the bridge pickup slightly louder than the front pickup. Let's listen to that low B string. For more aggressive tones, I'm going to push the switch down into active mid-cut mode. Both pickups are now on equally, and I've also added a bit of bass and treble boost in order to make the scoop of the mid-cut more accentuated. And I've grabbed the pick. For pick players, sometimes getting a percussive sound from the Plectrum is important, and the A5 Ultra seems pretty capable of doing that as well. I've set the EQ switch to active flat, and I've just pushed the treble control up just a little bit, leaving the bass flat as well. Both pickups on, and it sounds like this. Chordal playing is also really rich, and I think gives a lovely warmer sound with a nice modern edge to it. Sometimes solo playing on a bass can sound a little bit thin, but we have a nice rich tone here that just makes me want to noodle for ages. Of course, with the tones on board, I could speak for ages and demonstrate all the different sounds available on the bass. But do you know what? I think you're going to need to go and try out this instrument for yourself. As I said before, play with some of your own styles, dial in some of your own sounds, and hey, I'd really like to hear how you get on with the A5 Ultra as well. I think this is a really flexible instrument. I could use it in a wide range of genres. It's not just for metal, it's not just for jazz. I think it'll fit with pretty much anything that you throw at it. As I mentioned before, please check out the written column in Bass Gear magazine. For now though, I will close out with just a few more playing styles. Thanks ever so much for watching. Can't wait to bring you some more reviews in the near future. I've been Dan Veal and you have been watching Bass Gear magazine.